It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is the 29th of August 2024, Thursday. This is The Real Issues, once again with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer. Sorry, the voice is still struggling to come back into its own. Alongside Nigel Nicholas, who is doing the technical operation duties for us in the studio once again, as I told you yesterday, because our regular Jaquan is off not well with something similar to what I've been struggling with. And if you're struggling with it as well, I wish you a speedy recovery. Hope your day has been going good so far. It is a wonderful day. It's as usual what we expected it to be, a warm day, a humid day, this kind of day, but it's none the worse a day. So we are getting by with it. It comes with the territory of the climes in which we live, the tropics. Plus it is the hurricane season. People always remember safety, always be prepared. And take care of yourself. There are so many threats and perils surrounding us all the time. At times we may be contributing to it, albeit inadvertently. At times we have nothing whatsoever that we are even aware of about it, much less to be able to do something about it. But there they are. Times that are challenging, and not all of us want to go through it by, as we would say, toughing it out, as we would say, just holding strong as best as we can and bearing up. There are others who try to get a quick and unfair advantage an advantage for robbery, armed robbery, and other forms. So, to those of you who have your small businesses, whether especially as you operate in the night, whether food service or anything, keep your eyes open, watch, be very careful. There are bad people out there who believe that the way out of their challenges is to just come and grab and take from you. And if you get in their way or you resist them, to stab and shoot and kill you and do all sorts of things, we have to look out for those things. We have to cooperate with one another, and we have to cooperate with law enforcement. By the same token, I beg your pardon, today it's a little, the need to clear the throat seems a little more pronounced than I've been having for the last few days, so if you can just bear with me on that one. Something happened yesterday. Many people say it's not adding up, it's kind of bizarre and all of that for them. I don't know. We often like to think that we have some kind of inside knowledge and inside scoop and inside understanding of things that law enforcement don't figure out. But I would say, hold strain, hang fire on that. Don't come to conclusions very quickly and pass judgment very quickly about whether it's inside job or whatever. The criminals have a certain and growing sophistication about them where they're not stupid at all. They're very smart in what they do. And although the story does sound a little bit weird to me about, bank staff stationed way up at Shock on their way home, I would assume after 5 or whatever, on Calvary Road, which is a fair distance from what the branch that was targeted and held up and taken back to their workplace at Shock, from Calvary Road to Shock. In what at that time of the day, 5 o'clock, is a time of known heavy traffic just about all over, especially in the northern sector or corridor of our St. Lucia. And somehow the police being alerted and coming and freeing them, but there would be captors or kidnappers being gone since the time and money taken away and so on. It all seems a little convoluted to me, I have to say. But, why did they stop in the first place, by that, what they thought was a beat-up derelict vehicle or however you want to call it? And why did they stop? Was it was blocking the road? Was it they stopped to look at something that seemed strange and then they were held up? We don't know at this stage. We can only have faith, we can only have trust that the investigators, the criminal investigators, the police, are going to look into this from all the angles that are practicable at the time and hope to bring some closure to this matter. But based upon what we have been told, it does sound scary, that someone can come and just, pose as they're in some kind of vehicle that is dysfunctional or that is beat up or that is having some problems, and maybe you slow down because they're kind of obstructing you, whatever, and then gunmen would come out and force you back all the way up to Shock. It sounds mixed up. I'm going to admit it sounds mixed up. But many things do sound mixed up until later on as investigations proceed and it comes to trial and information comes out that you probably didn't hear about, you probably didn't know about. We're happy that it didn't result in any eruption of gunfire, because in the Shock area with Caribbean cinemas and other businesses there, KFC and so on, it's a place that is quite reasonably trafficked. I wouldn't say very heavily, but there are people there all the time coming to the cinema, coming to have a coffee, to have pizza, to use ATMs in the area and so on. It could have gotten really, really dicey in such a scenario, and that it didn't is something we are happy for. Bullets are not precise, so they fired at this person or at that object, and then you never know for ricochet and kick up and whatever it is, and going through soft tissue, somebody who's totally unrelated can end up getting wounded, at times fatally wounded as well. So we're happy for that aspect. Let's hope that it's not something that continues. Let's not make conspiracy about crime and this thing and that it's people paying people or setting up people to do those things. Criminals are just that, criminals. They don't have the care and concern that police have. They don't have the care and concern that we have. They have their objectives. We want the money. We want this. We want revenge. We want that. And this is what we're going for. They don't care who they have to hurt in the process. They don't care who it is that will be collateral damage to them. These considerations, I don't think criminals have those scruples. Otherwise, they would not be criminals. I don't think that they come to their mind. if a man has a problem with a guy who did something to a fellow gang member or to his brother, whatever, it isn't when there's so many people around and in traffic that they will go to shoot the person and they don't care who it is. It is simply people who have their objectives, and that is the objective. And who knows whether they're not doing it at a time when they know there's a lot of traffic and a lot of people, because they can disappear. You have a white car in a long line of backed up congested traffic and so on, the easier for you to get away with. Who will remember what white car it was and so on? People are trying to get out of the way and so on. So, they have a lot of their own criminal arithmetic well worked out in their minds. The other thing too that appears to be making the rounds now is some story about sexual assault and sexual misconduct or whatever having to do with a high-ranking officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. We've been hearing that for quite some time, haven't we? It's been going around for quite some time. And my position on it remains consistent to this day. You do not go dragging people's names through the mud, whether through social media accounts whose owners and authors and controllers and editors, whatever, cannot be traced, for political reasons on the basis of allegations. There is a difference between an allegation, which is somebody says somebody did something or somebody told them that this person did that to this person or raped this person and so on. But there has been nothing tying the accused person to the alleged wrongdoing in a manner where that allegation can become an accusation. In law, an accusation is different than what people are doing, just bandying things about one another. That is not a formal accusation. An accusation in law is when a person is charged. The person is no longer a suspect at that stage. Once they are formally charged, they become an accused person. The accused person, when they are prosecuted, when the matter is taken to court, the accused, referred to as a defendant, is tried, given an opportunity, whether directly himself or through his lawyer, to respond to those charges, to answer them, to defend himself against them. Why they call the person a defendant? To say this is not possible. I have an alibi. I was nowhere near the scene. Here is my passport showing I was out of the country at this stage. I could not have done that. Based upon the outcome of that trial, or if the person decides to plead guilty, whatever, the person then becomes a convicted person. If it reaches that stage, you are now convicted. You have now been found guilty. Action can be taken against you. It is even more delicate when the allegation or accusation is of an offense that has sexual connections. Let us say rape, for example. The moment allegations begin to swirl, even if they have not yet entered the formal process to become an accusation where the person is charged, where the person is to be prosecuted, and let us say they are found guilty, the law states very clearly that an accused person in a sexual offense trial must not be identified until and unless that person is found guilty. You ought not to do that. The reason being the stigma associated with sexual offenses, with being called an violé, a rapist and so on, is going to stick with somebody even when they are found not guilty, but by then their names have been dirtied all over the place. Now, granted, you can say, whatever officer, senior or junior or whatever, that those allegations, and there's still allegations at this stage, no charges have been laid. We have to understand that if that thing ends up going nowhere, the damage that is done to the individual, and if, God forbid, the identities of the alleged victims or virtual complainants or whatever we may call them at any stage, if that gets out there, the damage is something you cannot repair. But you see, it has become something of political ammunition. It's like this side supports the person whom the allegations are swirling about. This side does not support. This side believes that he is a friend of the other side. And a whole lot of political thing gets into that without any concern whatsoever for the people involved, for their families, for their wives, for their husbands, for their girlfriends. You don't care about that at all. All we care about is to make things a political football and to use them as political ammunition. Allow investigation to take place. I mean, go in and name somebody on the basis that they were arrested and so on. How do you question somebody? Whether they be senior, whether they be junior, whatever, unless you detain them and bring them in for questioning. In some cases, the police will arrive at your home with some kind of, document, whatever, that they want to speak to you. They want you to come down to the station with them because they have some, accusations or allegations that have been made. They want to question you. Some it will be something you never know happened. Some it will be high profile. It will be something done in the street, whatever it is, however they deem it to be. But the manner in which we are going without this, it would not surprise me if it has an effect on any decision going forward to prosecute, on any decision going forward to charge, to do whatever needs to be done in this. I believe in the past, courts and judges and so on have been minded to set aside certain things because they believe there is no way the accused person can get a fair trial. Because of all this lie that has gone on, the person has been named, it's been public and so on. And to my horror, to my great horror yesterday when all these things were swirling, I happened to come across some information where I was told that these allegations about, the senior police officer began in 2010. It was in 2010 that whatever was said, whatever complaint that was made and so on was made and so on. 2010. People were in 2024. What are we talking about that? 13, 14 years now? Since somebody or some people accused, I don't know what rank the officer was at the time, if he was as senior as he is now, whatever, to come and to talk about an officer, whatever, however he did it in police patrol vehicle or whatever it is, and push people against wall and forcibly kissed or whatever it went on. Whatever it went on, 14 years. What do they say about justice delayed? If there was something like that, why wasn't it dealt with back then, or at least begin? Why does it have to take 14 years before it comes to the point where an individual is brought in for questioning, or whether he has to be arrested, or whether he came in voluntarily, or this kind? 14 years? 14 years. Who was in power in 2010? Tell me. In 2010, who was in power? Who was commissioner at the time? Wouldn't it have been the United Workers' Party? That Stephenson King in 2010 would have been prime minister? That the minister responsible for the police then would have been Guy Mayers, Minister of Justice and National Security? Who would have been commissioner of police then? Wouldn't it have been Mr. Vernon Francois? Maybe somebody else, but I'm thinking, who would have been in office at that time? And whatever it was, either they didn't find it necessary, they didn't find enough evidence, they didn't find enough material there to go forward with it, or they figured whatever that it was not worthwhile at the time, whoever was DPP, Mrs. Victoria Charles Clark, or whoever else, that they decided, okay, this is not something we can move forward with and so on. The same thing with those so-called impacts report. Mrs. Victoria Charles Clark said, there was nothing in it that she could really move forward with. It was something that contained a lot of, innuendo and so on, but there was no evidence tied to it that she could make something actionable of it. What if there was something against that, for want of a better word, senior police officer that they didn't consider? After that, in 2011, late almost at the end of 2011, there was a change of government. It came out, they dealt with the whole impacts investigations and the matter of people who were shot in controversial circumstances by police. We heard all of that. How come nobody brought up this matter about that officer and the allegations against him in the 5-year span, following the 2010 when it is alleged to have taken place. You have 2011 to 2016. I don't recall hearing anything about that in that period. Under the change of government in 2016 and so on, Mr. Alan Shasney becomes Prime Minister. Mr. Herman Gill Francis becomes Minister of Justice and National Security with responsibility for the police. I'm sure he would know of, or he would have a knowledge about, the players involved, the one who's the allegations are made against him, and maybe some of the officers, female or whatever, that it involved and so on. I heard nothing about this thing. I'm not saying it wasn't there. It just wasn't played up. Now that there is another change of government as of 2021, you follow where I'm going with that? Is that the attention things receive and the type of attention they receive seems to depend upon the alternations of the political cycle. I want to nail you. I want to crucify you. You remember recently, some time ago, Impact's report became a big thing. A reporter actually going to a press conference as a Prime Minister. Prime Minister, have you read the Impact's report? I mean, before he was Prime Minister, he was a member of the cabinet. He was Deputy Prime Minister. He was all of that. Impacts is coming up now, and impacts that was supposed to have been dealt with by Herman Gill Francis when he came in. He said who he had spoken to, whether Americans, whatever, and told them just give 300 days and they will have this whole impacts matter wrapped up. And they basically would have dealt with it and brought resolution to the impacts. They left office in 2021. Impacts apparently was not resolved. But then you get the feeling impacts is coming up again because somebody wants to take a dig at this politician or this minister or whatever and so on. And the question is coming from a reporter who we know had some kind of altercation or standoff, whatever, on the public road with that same government minister. We can't continue to deal that way. Either we want justice, and if something involves rape, speaking for myself, I would like to see something done about it. I would like to see it resolved. It is scary to think that anyone could use their police power and their police, privileges, whatever it is, and that they're armed and probably a woman is afraid of them. And, it's not only when a person pull out a gun and point at somebody and say, do this or that, I'm going to do that to you, It's just a mere fact of fear. Sometimes you don't have to tell anybody. They know that you're armed. They know that you have a gun. They know whatever it is. They're afraid what you might do. They know your capabilities and this kind of thing and how you might frame it up. If anything like that, nobody would like to see it. But to go dirtying somebody's name like that before any proper formal process, and even up to now, if it is true that a certain officer was brought in for questioning, folks, we're not yet at the stage where we can be passing judgment. Too much judgment being passed too quickly in this country. Too many pronouncements being made, regardless of the damage that we're doing, and sometimes the damage extends far beyond the individual at whom fingers are being pointed. And maybe some people feeling they need to retaliate. I saw something very distasteful about the outgoing commissioner, and it's like something that she's up to and she's concocting, and it's like she's mounting a hit. And another person came out about a more junior officer who supposedly assaulted somebody close to them, and it's like this kind of back and forth. And sometimes, if ever we were to get to know the true facts of the situation, nothing shall go so. There's nothing like that inside. People are making up stories. People think they need to hit back and they need to strike back even before they understand or they even have any knowledge of what it is they're hitting back against. Folks, we have to watch this kind of thing. Let's not get drawn into it. If there is a serious investigation that analyzes evidence, that takes up complaints and pieces together, the timeline of events of who was where at what time and so on, and what could be done and so on. At the end of the day, sometimes even if there was no rape, we have to look at the conduct that is becoming or unbecoming of certain positions that you hold. Your suitability for promotion or to hold certain positions. Do you want to have someone who's in charge of a department like the police force, so important, so critical, but the person has certain inclinations and certain tendencies and so on that might endanger the solidity of that person's leadership and so on that they are required to provide to an organ. Yes, you have to look at those things, although that aspect is usually not the subject of criminal investigations. That aspect is usually commissions of inquiry that will say, for example, if and I think the commission of inquiry into the Industrial Fire Service made certain findings. While they didn't find anything criminal, but the mere fact that you can put yourself in a position that certain accusations can be made against you by your subordinates and those kind of people, how suited are you to be in a leadership position? If it's always going to be some kind of commotion and some kind of this about woman, this and girlfriend there, and then sometimes you have two women who work around you, they're now jealous of each other, they're looking to strike at each other, or this kind of thing. Are you a good leader if you allow those kinds of things to develop, in your immediate, environment and atmosphere and so on? How good and effective a leader can you be? You may be technically sound and so on, but there will always be the little things swirling around that you have preference for this one, or that you recommended this one for promotion because your little chuku looks on the side, and you're going to have all these kind of things happening. Like I say, it's more commissions of inquiry that look into those things and say, look, we would not recommend this person to have a leadership position. We would recommend this person be retired in the public interest because, they have shown poor judgment and this kind of thing. And people have to know it's not everything that is there for the taking that you should take. It's not every bird, that because it is flightless but it runs that you have to be chasing after it, These are the kind of things. But we have to allow process to take place, due process. Stop swirling. And I'm going to say this plainly. Labour Party people, if you say you have the faith in the leadership that you now have of your party and of the government, let that confidence in the leadership extend to saying Philip Joseph Pierre and those who are with him must have known what they were doing when they allowed Milton Daisy to finish his contract. They didn't try to send him home before the contract expired. That they must have known what they were doing. When they recalled Cressida Descartes-Pelleas from retirement or whatever, or they made her, commissioner towards the end of her retirement, whatever, gave her a contract 1 year renewable, 2 years, whatever has come in, they must have known what they were doing. They didn't just do it willy-nilly. And they didn't just do it like crazy people that, she came and she did this, but they still extended it by another year. Just tell yourself that Philip J. Pierre, who always reminds us that he is the son of a policeman, that they know what they're doing, that they know what they're about, that they must have some head on their shoulders, that Dr. Virginia Albert Poyet, who is a woman who I'm sure has sensitivity to the issues affecting women in the workplace because she's also been a trade unionist and educator, that Jeremiah Norbert, who's an ex-policeman, as is Richard Frederick and so on, that they must have some understanding, some mind about the subtleties and nuances and exigencies of policing and the police organization and so on and so forth. Have a little mind. Stop rushing on Facebook and tearing into people there and tearing into that person there and saying things to family. The things that are being said about a serving female police officer of some rank and so on, it has to be hurtful to her father, who served as a police officer himself, retired now, I'm told, not in good health and so on. People, be careful of those kind of things. Don't rush forward to think you have to be in attack mode against everything. Allow due process to take its course. And while this thing is not into the formal system of prosecution and court process and so on, anything that has sexual offense at its core, at its center, and may be likely to be headed there, let us be careful. I will repeat what I have tried to share with you. In sexual offense cases, you do not name or identify the accused person until and unless they are convicted. That's one. And sometimes even when they are convicted, their identities are not revealed, because to reveal their identities gives now a strong possibility that the victim or the virtual complainant's identity may be revealed. You had a story about a young girl who, a man who was found guilty of raping his niece, who lived in the same family home with him. The moment you go and you identify, even though he's convicted now, everybody will know. You see that man is that girl they must be talking about, and so on. And so sometimes even then, courts and judges and so on, they have the discretion to look at the situation and say, identifying the person, even though they have been convicted and sentenced, would risk identifying the victim. So conditionally, you do not identify someone who is the accused or convicted in a sexual offense case only and until that person is convicted. And then again, some exceptions can be made. When it comes to the victim, you must never identify the victim. Whether before, during, or after, you must not. Because it is known that many perpetrators get away because victims and their families do not want to come forward and give evidence and testify because of the embarrassment, because of the shame, because of the fear that they have of being identified. That for a lifetime, it will be walking down the road. Gasa, meaty fi ayo di tonton ite ka point la. Baby, I can be your uncle, come to uncle now, the insensitive way we have about us, where we don't understand the trauma and the hurt, the absolute horror that people have been through, and we want to make a joke of everything. This is the real issues. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back.
The country needed to be rescued from the abyss into which it was plunging. The majority of you accepted my offer to lead that rescue mission. The full rescue team also includes you, the people.
Over the past 3 years, the St. Lucian economy has been growing. The growth is being experienced across many sectors, with business confidence up and unemployment down.
This government always defends the interests of the people of St. Lucia.
The 2 years after COVID, and then I get the $1,500. It helped me a lot, and it pushed me in front to open a little business. Now I can put food on my table right now.
When I heard about the MSME, I was like, boom, opportunity. I could make something actually happen, you know.
And young people must not suffer the frustration that they suffer when they go to other organizations.
Entrepreneurship is something that is needed in our country. We need people to take the leap and be entrepreneurs to help the economy grow.
He honored his promise, and I respect him, and I give him thanks. Philip J. Pierre, I thank you with all my heart and soul.
As Prime Minister, I promise to be Prime Minister not for some of the people, but for all the people.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to and staying with The Real Issues. On this Thursday, it is the 29th of August, 2024. And speaking of the 29th of August, we're another tomorrow, Friday, the 30th of August, will be the annual Fetla Wars, the feast of St. Rose de Lima, one of two flower festivals that are celebrated in St. Lucia, one being Fetla Wars on the 30th of August and Fetla Marguerite on the 17th of October. Fetla Wars tends to be the bigger, of the two, the one that is celebrated and has adherents. They are two different societies, they call themselves, and it's a nice story of fascination about the rivalry that has existed between these two rival flower societies, the Rose and the Marguerites, one whose livery is red, pink, white. The other one, it's blue, mostly, kind of purple, leaning on it. And they're flowers, actual flowers. Who doesn't know about the rose? But, there's the Marguerite, growing up in Dennery. I remember there was the Fleur Marguerite, that when I went to a neighboring lady's house, good friend of the family, liked me very much as a child, Ma George, this kind of ground creeping, almost a vine-like, but not really. There was those kind of flowers that grew very close to the ground. One of them, for example, they call it Chevalier Onze. I think this one was pretty wild and so on, but there was the Fleur Marguerite, and there was, so many different kinds of flowers at the time. Can you Fleur Marguerite, and so on. But tomorrow it is Fetla Wars. So, Vive la Wars, bon Fetla Wars in advance to you and so on. So many things that the mind is a little hazy about them. I kind of remember the Chevalier Onze and this and that, and there was a kind of a reddish, purplish flower that when you took it and rolled it in your hand and so on, your fingertips would become, that bluish kind of red. You would use it to make lipstick, so you would paint your lips with it, and it lasted for quite some time and so on. Don't know if we ever did think about those things, how we could have taken them and developed them into dyes and cosmetics and and those sorts of things. So many things, in our country that we knew, but I guess for want of investment, for want of research, knowledge, and so on, they were never really pursued, etc., etc. People, before I open the phone lines, there are a couple of words I want to say. I mean, nowadays it seems like it's hard to concentrate on anything if you are someone who follows the media and talk shows and the endless roundtables and lives and town hall meetings and whistle stops and so on. That all seem to be trying to make a case of how corrupt our country is. And it's a story of there is corruption and there is theft and there is bubble and they pulling the wool over your eyes and they trying to fool you and they're stealing money and they're embezzling money and they're doing this, and it's going on and on and on and on. Even though those who are making these non-stop allegations, that word again, allegations, they never seem to be able to provide us with any incontrovertible, with any kind of beyond any reasonable doubt proof that it is happening. It's just continue to say it and accuse and accuse and accuse and hope that it is going to stick. I don't know how you could have a country that is fairly open as an economy in terms of information, in terms of how you can get it, the registry, places that you can go to, your registry of companies, the estimates and so on, and different documents that have been laid in the past, places where you can ask questions and so on. How that level of corruption could be practiced, how it could be practiced, and for it not to be something that is known and indefensible when it is discovered, when it is exposed. I just cannot understand how you have people who have the locus standi, who have the legal standing, where they can go and request certain information, demand it to get it. You were in government, you must have people who are friends who are on your side, who will give you certain sheets of paper and so on that you can see, for yourself what is there. We have the annual estimates of revenue and expenditure that are tabled in and debated in the House of Parliament. They are passed, they have become appropriations bill. You have so much of that you can look into. You can go to court and you can seek an injunction. You can force the disclosure of certain things. Kenny Anthony did it, where cabinet is supposed to be a place, its deliberations and decisions are not things that can be easily looked or inquired into. He was able to get a judicial review of a cabinet decision pertaining to the granting of concessions for a hospitality enterprise that was owned by a then sitting member of cabinet, what the court said about who's a credible witness and so on. I wonder why people who are making those accusations, why they cannot do like Kenny Anthony did, because they have lawyers at their disposal. They may not be a lawyer like Dr. Anthony himself is, but you can go and you can get things, information, if you feel it is being withheld from you. You leader of the opposition, you immediate past prime minister, you chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, you are an MP, you have connections, you have all we get in our allegations, and it's like it is being done in a manner to smother and to suffocate and to overwhelm us in that you cannot even think at any time. It's always a corruption, but you always keep coming up empty-handed in terms of what really is the corruption. But here's what I really want to go to. There have been so many papers and documents and whatever that have been prepared by respected, august international organizations like the IMF, the World Bank, etc., that have shown the damaging effect that corruption has on the economies of especially poor countries and so on. How it holds them in a vice-like grip. It stymies and obstructs and obfuscates and prevents their development and so on. That once you have corruption, the country may have money potentially from its resources. It may have oil, it may have diamonds, but it just can never seem to escape the grip of vice-like poverty. Its health services are in shambles. Its education system is completely obliterated. I mean, that country has continuous problems, structural problems of its economy. Whether we're talking about Nigeria, like that country, so much oil wealth, but there's a feeling that Nigeria is an African and maybe global underachiever. It can never get the benefit of its wealth and so on because of corruption that is just suffocating and smothering the country and so on. Nigeria is just one example. They're probably doing better than a lot of others, but in the Caribbean, whatever the disadvantages that Haiti has had historically, the political matter, what France did to them and the United States, enforced and all this sort of thing, but Haiti, it is felt that a lot of the problems with Haiti, why it cannot escape them, are internal corruption in government and etc., etc., etc. No country, especially a small, developing, third world economy, whatever, has ever been able to get its act together once you see it has the jackboot of corruption pressing on its neck. It is said that right here in the Caribbean, Trinidad, wealthy as it is relative to others, that Trinidad probably would have been a powerhouse, a giant of a small country and so on. But there was so much corruption, as seems to be the case whenever oil wealth is found. I don't know if it's true, but you've heard a lot of that. In Latin America, how, oh my goodness, some of the Latin American countries, they were poised to be, really seniors in the world when it comes to economic development and so on, that they should not be relying on IMF. They should be net lenders, not net borrowers and so on. We've heard a whole lot of this sort of thing, and I keep wondering, if St. Lucia is as corrupt as Mr. Chasney and Mr. Guy Joseph and Mr. Dominic Fede and Mr. Spider-Man Tooth, and now they've brought in some foreign borrowed muscles, some foreign muscles that they've borrowed in the name of Philip Martinez and so on. I suspect when this thing is over, we'll get a nickname, he'll be Philip Rico Martinez and so on, because he's bringing Rico lawsuit, but to me the guy is sounding more Rico, than even the Rico Act itself. To allege that St. Lucia is caught in the grip of fraud and embezzlement and this, and who stole 1.2 or 1.4 billion dollars, and we want our money back, and it's a continuous thing. We have the evidence, and here is the evidence, but the evidence which is supposed to be in court, we're not hearing about the court, etc. If St. Lucia all of a sudden under Philip J. Pierre was such a corrupt country, how come this seems to be the time when St. Lucia is doing the best it has ever done in terms of economic growth, in terms of different projects and initiatives that somehow Philip J. Pierre seems to be finding the money all the time to do them, to empower St. Lucians, to make life better for them, to give people a chance to step up into positions of leadership, investment, business, youth economy, enterprise development fund, MSME loan grant facility, to be helping people with school books for their children, to be helping people with healthcare, housing assistance program. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. One of the marks of corruption in those countries, in Africa, in Latin America, and elsewhere and so on, is that there just never seems to be money to do anything in terms of public, development and public provision and social support. There just doesn't seem to ever be enough. How come St. Lucia, according to the gospel of Alan Chasney and those who are with him, is caught in the throes of such unprecedented, suffocating corruption, but that seems to be the time when the government is doing so much? That seems to be the time when the government has identified how it is going to finish St. Jude and seems to be racing along at breakneck speed to restore the stadium, to do the halls of justice. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You cannot even keep pace. It's moving at a dizzying, breathtaking, breakneck speed and so on. The government is finding so much to give to people, to help people, to provide people with all kinds of support and all kinds of hand-holding that they're doing now. But yet the country is so corrupt because people are siphoning money away and ministers are taking it out and they're selling land on the price. I mean, you listen to the guys and nothing is going good in the country. This country is just, a total cesspit and sludge pond of corruption and stealing. No country that has found itself in the grip of corruption, even of a minuscule fraction of what is being alleged, do you find that kind of level of socio-economic organization and support and providing and building up and so on, and yet your economy is growing by double digits in 2021, 2022, growing again in 2023, showing signs of growth. Your tourism is improving. One of the things that corruption does in a lot of those countries, that it discourages investment. But yet we hear about global port holdings and all of them. They want to come and do business with us and so on. Our CIP ranked the 3rd best in the world. And it's the good vibes all the time. How can that? Listen to what? I saw something online. It says economies that are afflicted by a high level of corruption, which involves the misuse of power in the form of money or authority to achieve certain goals in illegal, dishonest, or unfair ways, are not capable of prospering as fully as those with low levels of corruption. Corrupted economies are not able to function properly because corruption prevents the natural laws of the economy from functioning freely. As a result, corruption in a nation's political and economic operations causes its entire society to suffer. And it gives you some key takeaways. Countries that have a high level of corruption are unable to function efficiently or prosper at an economic level, causing suffering for society as a whole. Emerging market economies tend to have much higher corruption levels compared to developed countries. Corruption can lead to an uneven distribution of wealth as small businesses face unfair competition from large companies that have established illegal connections with government officials. In a corrupt economy, resources are inefficiently allocated, and companies that otherwise would not be qualified to win government contracts are often awarded projects as a result of bribery or kickbacks. The quality of education and healthcare also deteriorates under a corrupt economy, leading to an overall lower standard of living for the country's citizens. And I'm just saying this, if St. Lucia is as bad as it's been made to, how come for the first time in our history, we're seeing so many initiatives and projects and things that demonstrate, economic planning, economic confidence, economic achievement? So many things are happening. The opposite of the effect that corruption, that World Bank and all of them, are warning you will happen when a small, emerging country is caught in the grip of that kind of corruption. That is what I'm wondering. Uneven distribution of wealth, a whole lot of things, low stimulus for innovation, because little confidence can be placed in the legal system of corrupted economies in which legal judgments can be rigged. Potential innovators cannot be certain their invention will be protected by patents and not copied by those who know they can get away with it by bribing the authorities. There is thus a disincentive for innovation, and as a result, emerging countries are usually the importers of technology because such technology is not created within their own societies. A shadow economy exists. Small businesses in corrupt countries tend to avoid having their businesses officially registered with tax authorities to avoid taxation. As a result, the income generated by many businesses exists outside the official economy and thus are not subject to state taxation or included in the calculation of the country's GDP. Another negative of shadow businesses is they usually pay their employees decreased wages, lower the minimum amount designated by the government. Also, they do not provide acceptable working conditions, including appropriate health insurance benefits for employees. That sounds like St. Lucia to you people? Isn't St. Lucia the place where we have introduced minimum wage legislation? And we have not heard pushback or fight back about it and so on, where we have about increasing the minimum pension, whatever, and all these kinds of things were happening. Where businesses are being encouraged to register, to come forward, that they will be granted waiver on this, on that, and all the other things that are happening. Does that sound like a country that is so corrupt that it is hiding from itself? Or is the country becoming more open, more free up, more upfront and so on? People are encouraged to develop whatever plans of things they have into some kind of enterprise, to be straight up and to be upfront. Isn't that what we're having now in St. Lucia? What is it that there is this thing that you have to continue to tell people how the country is corrupt? This country is corrupt, the country is corrupt, the country is there, they're stealing your money, when that is not the experience of people. Folks, let me open the phone lines now for you. The numbers are 487-9849. Yes, 487-9849. That is the WhatsApp calling number. And you can also reach us on the landline 4533-911. All right? 487-9849 and 4533-911. The numbers to dial. Let me see. I'll be looking at the Facebook Live as well. But I think we have our first caller. Excuse me, folks, but the mouth gets dry very, very quickly. So, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good day, Shelton.
How are you doing?
Cool. I have a certain view about what happened last night on DBS TV. And I watched the entire program because I wanted to hear the evidence that was supposed to be dished out. But only to get to know that the evidence will come 10 days later. I find rather unusual. You go to Miami to get evidence, to go and see things, but yet the man will tell you he will mail the evidence to you 10 days later.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
It sounds like bluff. It sounds like bluff, doesn't it?
Yeah, bluff. Yeah. Right. Like the Prime Minister always say, fluff and bluff. You know? And you try to come and play as if like some kind of machismo effect on people, as if like you have it. I got him. I got them. You know, I got them. I have it.
Yeah, he could have saved himself that of it. Wasn't that exactly what Martinez has been doing all along? I have the evidence, and some people will not be sleeping well. And then leader of the opposition goes to Washington. You said Miami, but I thought he said Washington, to go and meet with Martinez, and comes back essentially echo chambering the very same thing Martinez said. They have the evidence, you know, and boy, they're in trouble, you know, they're in big trouble.
Yeah, they're in trouble. Now it's sharp, is it?
Yeah.
You understand?
There was never any difference. They were always one and the same.
Because remember, Martinez always say, Shatney told him. Shatney gave him permission.
Last night I was with Lisa Jawai on her program on Choice TV.
Yeah. I switch on between channels once in a while.
So you know, I really don't know what happened on DBS and whatever, where he was and so on.
Yeah. You know, the super testing DBS did was to take on that video. You know, don't leave it on the website.
Was that?
The smartest thing they did was to remove it one time. They didn't leave it on the website.
Why was that? I saw allusions to that they wanted to take down the program video and so on. Why?
It was some part of it was like jealous in nature, and that could have put them up in some kind of legal jeopardy.
But it's available. It's available, so I can watch later, right?
Well, it's not available on Facebook. It's not available on the website. That's what I'm saying. Up to a while ago, I was looking for it. And I said, but it was recorded by somebody.
All right. I would be interested in looking at it. If you can go and make that kind of big grandstand about information and revelations and bombshells that you have, why would you need to be hiding it? You know?
Now, Ernest, the funny thing about it now, my partner now had Shashney's feet to the fire. The interviewer, Napoleon. Napoleon has been letting him up easy, you know. Timothy Napoleon asked him the right questions, understand, which he could not answer. Because all he kept talking about was allegations.
Was what?
Allegations. All Shatney could talk about was allegations.
I'm surprised that these people have such a low bar for what you would consider forensic rigor in the inquiries that they make and the questions. They come, they have bombshell revelations, and they have shocking this and that, and then it's all allegations. And then when they talk, it usually comes out. My understanding is that, and information rich in me is that, you know, it's always on their understanding and information rich in them. I've been made to understand. Well, that's not evidence, you know.
No, health is funniest part of it all, Sheldon. And I did show a video on Facebook about that. You know that guy Joseph in the House of Parliament, or whatever it was, told Miguel that he will not be talking to any convicted felon.
Yeah, not talking to
a conviction before he wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, remember.
And here is Guy Joseph, overseas, talking to a convicted felon. Understand? Asking for information about solution. What kind of thing is that?
Exactly.
So you go talk to Miguel in the because you say he's a convicted felon, but you can go to Miami or Washington and talk to a worse yet convicted felon who's convicted of fraud.
Guy Joseph knew very well that the reason is that he could not face squarely and in the eye whatever Miguel was going to ask him, because Janika Simon is not any convicted person and so on. Janika has never been arrested or anything, yet they couldn't face to answer some simple direct questions that Janika asked. Both he and Shasney basically just ignored her and turned away and said, next question, anybody else has a question, like she didn't exist. total disrespect and so on. So if Miguel is because he had some criminal thing, what was it about Janika that they were treating her with such disrespect, you know?
Yes, yeah. And even at the latest press conference that they had, he didn't want anybody to ask him questions. Because he knew whatever he said, they were going to ask him questions about it that he could not answer. So he cut off the question part of the press. And for the life of me, I don't know why those reporters keep going to those so-called press. That was a press conference. That was just they talk shit. That was a press conference.
Yes.
Because in a press conference, you're allowed to give reporters leeway to ask questions, to ask for information. You understand?
Right.
You either choose which station or which radio station, which reporter comes to your press conference. The press conference is supposed to be open to everybody. Understand?
Yes.
But that's how he behaved. So that was quite an embarrassment last night. Understand? He was trying to score some points and say, I got them, I got here, I got here, I got this, I got that. And he's still repeating that same Baji. Martinez is saying.
Right.
And he's repeating that same nonsense about saying, oh, I can't talk about this. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have it. So you have nothing. Don't want to talk about nothing.
True.
Period. You understand? And he conveniently forgot that it was under his watch that most of the files of the CIP was deleted. Under his watch.
Yeah.
There was a report about that on HTS. Either HTS or NBC, I can't remember which one.
Okay.
A report about where, under Nestor Alfred, a lot of CIP files were deleted. What were on this file that was so damaging to the UWP that they had to delete it?
Yes.
You understand? And I'm sure if a forensic expert in computer science can always get those files that were deleted. Because nothing is safe in the clouds. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There must be some information in there that was damaged to them. That's why they deleted it. Was it persons who got citizenship that were not supposed to get it? Or was it persons who were of nefarious character that were not supposed to get passports and citizenship that they got it? Or was it money that was supposed to be there and they disappear and nobody knows about it? I mean, there are a lot of questions to be asked.
True.
So when he comes for reading about CIP, he himself have a closet full of skeletons when it comes to CIP.
So let me ask you, are you aware whether that television station has put out any explanation in terms of why the video for that program disappeared and apologizing
okay?
No,
they have not.
This is very, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, if we have no one on the line right away, let's take our commercial break and then we'll be back to continue taking more calls and read some of your messages as well.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Real Issues on this Thursday, the 29th of August 2024. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon to you.
How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Shelton, you see the Honorable Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre? He is my leader. You follow me?
Yes.
He is the leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And that is the party that I am a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party. You follow what I'm telling you?
Right.
And he is the Prime Minister. So he's my leader two ways. And he's also my leader as being an exemplary person. You follow me?
Yes.
Now, I want to advise him and his cabinet freely. I'm not charging him for that. No, Shelton, don't laugh, my brother. I'm serious, bro.
So let me ask you, do you normally charge him for your advice?
Well, these things comes with a price, but I want to advise him for free.
Okay.
You see, from today, any media personnel that confronts him or any member of his cabinet as far as CIP is concerned, kindly tell them you have nothing to say on that. Listen to me well, you know. Any member of the media that approach any minister of government concerning CIP, you just have to tell them, I have nothing to say. Shelton, you know why? There seems to be two sets of rules. And that has to stop. That have to stop because I'm pissed off right now. That have to stop. You can't have one rule for the St. Lucia Labour Party and one rule for UWP. Shelton, you remember that UWP, when they were in office for almost 6 years, they even went to Parliament to change the rules to prevent them from saying or from giving an account or for giving details as to how the CIP funds are being shared. Shelton, you remember that? You remember that? They gave absolutely, when Alan Chasney was the Prime Minister of this country, he gave absolutely no account as to how the CIP funds are being dispersed. All of a sudden now, a Prime Minister of accountability, a prime minister who is working in the interest and the betterment on the welfare of his people. They want to hold his feet to the fire as far as CIB funds are concerned, children. That cannot be right. That cannot be just. That cannot be fair. Is it because he's such a kind man? A man who always makes himself available for the media. He go in there, he's smiling, he have a sense of humor, he laughing, he does everybody. So what happens? My leader, Philippe J. Pierre, nobody. I, as a citizen of this country, I will not stay and allow anybody to take advantage or to disrespect my prime minister. No, sir, that will not happen, Papa. And I'm calling upon St. Lucians to defend their leader. I'm calling upon the ministers of government to defend their leader. Only Richard Frederick so far. Only Richard Frederick and about two others I see actually defending the prime minister. That's a team that there. That's a team that there. And in future, I want to see more of the ministers of government defending our prime minister. And we as supporters, we have to defend our prime minister. We have to shield him from the onslaught, from the nastiness. From the nastiness that is going on right now. We must defend our prime minister. And I make no bones about that. We must defend his family. We must defend his daughter, who has been viciously and nastily attacked. I don't know what women do to Alan Chasney. Shall Alan Chasney have a disdain for women? You're attacking all women. You're attacking Alison Jean. You're attacking Dr. Stanley. You're attacking the Prime Minister's daughter. You have something against women, Papa.
You're attacking Reno's daughter too. Remember,
you're attacking Reno's daughter. You're attacking Jenin Compton. What women do you, Alan Chasney?
Yeah, Ambassador.
What women do you?
Ambassador Elizabeth Clark, the former Attorney General Kim St. Rose.
The man is just making havoc, and nobody not calling Alan Chasney out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you to ever hold that office again, Papa. You come with all your bluffs the first time and you get through. The 23 islands, there is a paper on your desk. When you sign it, price of gas will go down. People fall for that. St. Lucian's not drinking your Kool-Aid again. They're not drinking your Kool-Aid, Papa. You will remove that totally, and people fall for that. You will transform Beaufort from a what? A ghetto into a what? A pearl of the Caribbean. Only one pearl of the world that we have is Julian Alfred Chasney. Get that in your thick skull.
No. What is that there, Julian Alfred Chasney? I said, what are you doing there?
No, I want to inform. No, I want to inform him.
Got to go back. As if you call Julian Alfred Chasney.
No. I am addressing Chasney and I'm telling him that we haven't got a pearl of the Caribbean.
I understand, but you make it sound,
of the world.
You make it sound like Julian's name has changed to Julian Alfred Chasney.
No, Shelton. That cannot happen. That just can't happen.
Okay, partner. Okay, go ahead.
You see? So we have to defend our leader. Okay. We have to defend our leader. It isn't my voice alone that must cry out in the wilderness, and Shelton voice and a few other voices. But everybody have to pick up their phone and call to defend the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Including the ministers of government. You all are a team. Thank you very much, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. We continue taking your calls. 487-9849. That's the WhatsApp call line. And the 4533911. Someone else is on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
Let's get to the nitty gritty. Yeah. I can't even afford to reach it afternoon. Sorry for my bad manners.
How you doing?
I have one message to Alan. I'm good. You know what made me feel better is the disrespect the person gave Alan when they told him whole Kisasaki and Oipabo. Sadison do a chair, myself. Sadison do a chair. I don't listen to Alan. I don't listen to Timothy. Me amun record to bagay voiba makutay. Today Alan wants to ask and demand Where is the money? What happened to the... Hello? Where?
WTF, where's the funds?
Gave that guy to sell. Where is the money he gave? Where are the passports? What's about the passport he gave to Theo to sell? Why was the money out of St. Lucia? Where did it go to? What was it spent on? Oh, so since I had lost my right to speak, I am giving you back the same favor you gave me. Shut up, and you have lost your right to speak. Don't ask me nada.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Miguel says pick up the landline, something like that. Do we have a landline, whatever? I don't know. That's what he said. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. And Jaquan.
Yes, hi. Jaquan is out on sick leave.
Okay. Hope he feels better. Shelton.
Yeah.
You know what confounds me? I really, it's unbelievable that the United Workers' Party will have a platform and an experienced parliamentarian and minister for that matter, in Spider Montoot, would come out and say what he said in terms of the arrest of a senior police officer the day before it happens. Now that is very worrying and very concerning, Shelton. And this is just characteristic of the recklessness and the political interference that embodies the United Workers' Party. You've ever see that kind of thing on a platform? How did they know this was going to happen? And why would you even, as a supposedly responsible politician, even suggest that on your political platform and make that statement? And for me, it's worrying. I'm not sure how other people see it. For me, it's worrying. But then, you see, my message this afternoon is to Spider Montoot. I really want to know, Spider, do you even look at the tapes after you have those PS conferences and you're on platform? Do you listen to the news? Do you see how stupid you sound? Have you reflected on all the years that you've had so much to say about Alan Chastney publicly? And you're right now, your lips are attached to his flat backside. I'm trying to understand what's in Spider's head. Spider looks like a very angry man, and I think the moment Stephenson King left the party, that nomination day, he has been angry because he's desperate and he should have made a move, and right now he realized he's stuck. So he had to choose one side or the other. Because if Spider looks around him and you see the likes of Feral Prudent and the ring the bells of this world, how can you even associate yourself with these people as someone who was at one time looked at as a possible prime minister? When Sir John was sick, I'm very disappointed. In fact, not disappointed, disgusted in Spider Montoot. And he needs to do the right thing and get the hell out of our politics. And that's what I had to say, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we continue taking your calls, 487-9849, and also on the landline 4533911. Just know that when one call is on, we can't patch in another one unless it's a conference call that we're making. So just hold strain, while we get one caller through, and then we'll be taking another one as well. Remember, Jaquan is off sick, so we are being assisted with the technical operations by the Real FM station manager, Nigel Nicholas. Thanks once again for being here with us. Reminding you that in light of Jaquan's absence, I will again be presenting the NBC Prime News this evening, 7:30, and at 8:30, 1 hour after that, there'll be Can I Help You, the weekly program on Thursday nights with Honorable Richard Frederick and assisted, I think, by Albert Frages. We have another call on the line. Hello, Real Issues.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelton.
Good afternoon to you.
Well, I don't know. That caller there came right across me, and with this thing with Spider saying that the police guy would be a big boy in the police force will be arrested tomorrow, and with this kind of allegations and whatsoever. But I don't know. I believe an allegation is not the facts. And then for the UWP and the Spiders and the police, because it is very troublesome, Shelton. In my humble opinion, the Labour Party made a fundamental mistake when they bring the lady back for 1 year. I think the lady should be gone and gone forever. And I believe, in my humble opinion, this is something that we have to take very seriously. Chesterfield looks like a niche of UWP that does not want Pierre to survive. And they will do anything to keep the woman there so that they will destroy the young man image. I don't think that police force have changed Shelton for the last 200 years. Police making children with police, this one is doing this one is doing this. Something happened in 2010. There have been 2 or 3 commissioners of police that went through before what happened there now. And all of a sudden, this guy is being taken like a piece of cheese that they don't want to melt, and they want to destroy him. Shelton, this thing is wrong. This thing, the Prime Minister must, I don't care what he says, I don't like to get involved, he must get involved in that. Because you cannot, because what I am seeing there now, it's a deliberate act, and it's a deliberate thing to keep the other woman there for another year. I don't think the woman wants to go. And Sheldon, I want to say this, and I don't care how people take it or how they don't take it. Right now, policing is in the worst stage in the history of St. Lucia.
You think so?
Oh yes, I have never seen it so bad. I have never seen it so bad.
Tell me why you...
Right in the middle of Castries, people robbing people, in the middle of Castries, breaking shots in the middle of Castries and getting away. I mean, Castries is where the capital is. You're supposed to have a police in every block. And these fellas are getting away with that. They went to the bank place there, go and arrest, go and get people, bring them back, do what they need to do. Sheldon, right now when you're driving people in St. Lucia, people is saying to you, this is a state without no crime. We have not seen one police. The amount of accident we have on the road, the amount of things that is happening, we have to now to look for another way of policing in this country. And I don't believe, respect to the lady, I don't think the lady have it. We need somebody else now to take over the mantle of police in this country. Because this crime that is going on there right now and these little things like that, I don't say it can be stopped, but it can be controlled better than it is there now. I'm saying that to you, Shelton. I am very disturbed about what happened there. When Spider came in on the radio, on television, and said they will arrest on his platform, they will arrest a minister next day, the man was arrested. I knew this thing was coming, you know. I knew that because the lady don't want to go, and they don't want the lady to go. So they're doing everything they can. If this is the replacement for the lady, they will destroy him so he can't go anywhere. I even heard that some of the big boys at Chesterfield says that if they bring another person out of St. Lucia, out of St. Lucia to be the commissioner, they will put down their tools. So these fellas are now trying to now squeeze the government against a corner so the government cannot survive. Last night, I saw something that I have never seen before. I sat down there, all of a sudden I said, let me turn to Timothy. I saw Dominic in the corner and I saw Timothy Chasney is talking on the television about Martinez and Mr. Martinez, and he had to fly to Washington to get the truth. But in what position you fly to Washington? Who are you? Are you the one making decisions in St. Lucia? Are you the one that is telling people in St. Lucia if to go left or go right? I mean, it was established on Sunday where my government stands in the history of St. Lucia. I mean, the Prime Minister is one of the bravest men I ever see in life. Now, again, we was on the battlefield together, but I never knew he was a colonel. On Sunday, I give him the whole thing as a colonel. For him to put his life on the line to see where he stands, if he can run St. Lucia the way he's supposed to, or if we are happy with the way he runs in St. Lucia. I mean, that's what he did on Sunday. And he did that in the eyes of the world. I don't think too many countries in the world have seen that. In the Caribbean have done what Pierre have done there. I'm telling you that. And we must take this seriously. Now, the other thing that troubles me, it troubles me a lot. I heard Chasney says that when he comes down, he will go to court. He will take the government to court after he's waiting for the RICO case. But this is what the Prime Minister says. The Prime Minister says there is a court case in the United States of America. I have asked my minister, are there anything that you are hiding away from me? No. Everything is okay, my PM. So, in essence, as Commander-in-Chief, the Prime Minister have to sit back and wait for the judgment from the states. Now, Shelton, I'm saying this to let you know, all these things that is going on, I'm blaming the Labour Party for it. That's where I want to go. Because I'm telling you why I'm blaming them for it. What about the special prosecutor? What about the special investigator? What about this man? Because the guys that we on the other side was calling not even corrupt, we were calling labusal, the way they used to do things, that same guy, that same Chasney, the amount of things, give Teowakin about 1,000 passports to sell. You know, the money was held in a bank outside of St. Lucia, which we never see in our life. Where are these things? Where is all the investigation of wrongdoing that we had so many things in our hands that we just had to present it to the prosecutor? Now, these guys are turning back that on us because I heard the PM said something which I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I heard the PM says that, you know, as the way he is looking at it, he wants to forgive people. You don't forgive crabs. If you forgive a crab and your hand go in the dandy, you will get bite, Shelton. These guys, you see, they have nothing good in mind.
So what
than
you have
to destroy St. Lucia
so what you have to do?
Destroy the government.
What do you do to the crab?
You have to quasi the crab. You have to quasi the crab. The crab must be quasi because there is one animal in the world you don't make a joke with. You can even take a chance with a snake, but not with a crab. I'm telling you that. And this thing is very serious.
You know, it's a long time. It is a long time I haven't heard that. You know, I heard when I was growing up that usa do son serpent, mais si on quoi pour pas do slip yes.
Non, ou ba do c'est monsieur. Yo quoi intelligent. Des fois on glisse one way en mode quoi pour quand on affecté. Quoi bien.
Okay, Nobi.
In St. Lucia, that are UWPs, they understand left, right from wrong, and they are seeing that the Labour Party is trying their best, the Prime Minister is trying their best to run the country so every St. Lucian can have a piece of the cake. But there are some of them that is there. The only thing they are remembering is the monies in the pocket and what they used to do. Whatever the Prime Minister do, when you go and you discuss the man's daughter, what has the man's daughter have to do? And you see how childish they are, how petty they are. You know, they have no respect. Now, this is why in my life I am a Muslim. And this is why I like the Muslim world. There's nowhere in the Muslim world a man can do what they're doing to the Prime Minister. They can do it in the world where I come from, you know. No! You have to respect authorities. You must give the man what he deserves. You cannot want to bring the man's family into nonsense, to destroy the man's life and everything like that. Suppose the child is not an intelligent child and he said, if my daddy can protect me, who will protect me? And that's what they want.
True.
That's what they want. This Facebook thing and everything, we have to now look at this thing seriously. Have a set of people like a committee set up and look who is behind this kind of coward acts, hiding behind mango trees to send stones against people, or to bring these people to justice for us to stop this nonsense. Stop this nonsense. Spider has enough things in his camp, is with his own family. That Spider is in everybody's life. Why Spider is like this? Spider will never win an election in Roseville again. Never in history. You know, remember when I told you about the people they bring all overseas and say, get together. When I talked about that, when I arrived in Roseville, one of them guys one tell me, Saudi la, ma de guy din, la se wite ou di, mwen di, maka pale mati. Mwen se nom di ka ve as mwen pale. And we have to start to be more serious. The Prime Minister must get the private or public or what's called prosecutor, get him out of his shell and start to work. We are now another year and about 11 months to go. The time has come for us to start to say and do what we said we would have done, and what we saw in the last election. We have to come to the forefront. of the people of St. Lucia for us to get justice.
Okay.
Because up to a day like today, I'm holding the Labour Party responsible.
Yeah, we're running out of time, man. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is coming on us.
Okay, my partner, go.
All right, thank you very much for that. There's so much more that we can say, but it's always good to leave something for later. It's always good to leave ourselves wanting more. And all things equal, God willing, we'll do this again tomorrow, same time from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio, MBC Television, Facebook Live, and of course, streaming live on YouTube as well. Till then, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.